Oh, lost servants in this world, those who have lost sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a world which is temporary, which is limited, it will perish. These provisions, these riches, this wealth, this power, this money, is all temporary. As the world perishes, this will perish with it. When you leave this world, this will leave with you. You will not take this in your grave. So our flaw is that we are short-term thinkers. We see what is in front of us and we desire that. But what we do not see and what is everlasting, what is infinite, what is limitless, what shall never perish and what shall never end, which is the next world and the blessed beauty and majesty of Allah Almighty, we do not see that. We have lost sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the next world. And that is long-term thinking. As human beings, we are accustomed to what is right in front of us. We do not have the discipline to work hard, to work gradually, to accumulate piety and righteousness, to live according to the mandate of the Qur'an and Sunnah, to avoid what is forbidden and prohibited, to protect our spirituality, to protect our piety and righteousness, to protect our manners, our ethics, our akhlaq, to protect the way we deal with our parents, with our family, to protect the way we deal with our children, to protect the way we deal with our neighbors and community, to protect the way that we interact with a stranger on the street, and gradually accumulating goodness and hasanat, become those who become long-term seekers and the seekers of al-akhirah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, change the way you think today and you can better your hereafter. I'll give you an example. When you go on a journey and you have to travel by air to a destination. Now can you imagine if you have a flight booked to Islamabad from Heathrow Airport, and you get to Heathrow Airport and you start walking through duty-free and the various shops and the restaurants and cafes, and you get lost in the various perfume sections, the watch sections, the chocolate sections. When you go to the cafe, you buy a coffee, you buy a croissant, you maybe go and have a small meal, and you have 2 hours before your flight. Now, is it imaginable that any of us will go to Heathrow and get lost in that duty-free forever and miss our flight and never go to Islamabad? If someone makes that mistake, you will call them ridiculous. What a nonsensical person, what an undisciplined person, that they were meant to board that plane, to travel to their destination. That was their aim, that was their goal, that was their destination, but this person got lost in the duty-free section at the airport. Respected brothers and sisters, this is an example of how we are lost in this world. Our flight was meant to be towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards His beauty, towards His majesty, towards His glory, towards His proximity, towards His nearness, towards His mahabba, His mawadda, His muafaqa, His mulatafa. And we got lost in this world, which is, according to this example, the duty-free or the lounge in the cafe. Now we think the person who gets stuck in the airport rather than boarding the flight as ridiculous, but how ridiculous are we, brothers and sisters? that we are distracted in this world and we have missed our flight to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there is a way back. Just as if you missed that flight to Islamabad, Lahore, to Milan, to Paris, to Toronto, you can always catch another flight. This is the grace, this is the blessing, this is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows that we will continuously miss flights, but He gives us an opportunity to board the next one.